So on this one, I hope the volume is a little bit loud. I'm trying not to put it too loud because I don't want it to be picking up so much background noise. I'm not in a perfect studio. I'm just in my house doing this. So I'm going to use the mouse too. Let me move a few things around. Sorry about the squeaky chair. So ignore this. This is just my, let me silence this phone so that it doesn't keep dinging off when we're doing this video. All right. So this mic is for the recording in of my voice. I'm going to turn this mic off. The purpose of this one was to record in from my computer, or let's say my phone, directly into the iPad, and then use this tape by Baby Audio. By the way, if you haven't checked this one out, I actually like this one a lot. I use this sweet old vinyl setting, and I'm just recording in off of, let's say, Spotify, YouTube, whatever, just to come up with a sample. So then I'm using segments to try to record in and capture the sample. Although I did this sample, if I'm being blatantly honest, here, I'll show you real quick. I started with, as soon as my iPad decided to show up here. Let me show you. Oh my goodness, come on. Sorry, we're in a iPad battle with trying to close this app. Thank you. Good Lord. All right. With audio editor Neon, so you guys see it right here. Okay. So that was how I recorded this sample through the tape into Neon, and then Neon opens and slide over, so you could just drag and drop it into Koala or segments or whatever you're going to use. So these two apps are really good apps. Obviously, Koala is my favorite. There's a reason behind it, obviously, because it just makes me want to create. It's so simple, so easy to use. One of the challenges, though, is when I go to audio to chop a sample. So let's just use this as an example. Here's the sample. I go to auto chop. Now I'm going to increase 64. What does it say? Not enough free pads for chop. Right. And that's true. It's not enough. Here's the problem. If there was a way, and I know this probably won't happen, but if there was a way for Koala to bring what Segments has, where you can put the chops on one file and then have the chops left there, non-destructive, and then you could play the chops. Of course, I can't play the chops for you right now because my MIDI controller is not working properly. So I had to unplug it so that, because you only have one, what do they call this? USB-C on the iPad. So I'm going to plug it in directly so it'll work now. Okay, there's only 8 chops, by the way. Let me move Koala out of the way so you can see it. So there's only 8. That's all I wanted. Of course, you can do more. But imagine if you took that and you had that in Koala on one pad where you could play the chops. And then that would be your one sample. Maybe you make another duplicate copy and you could do a different sample. Then you start building parts. Now what you have is like what I was talking about in Serato Sampler. You have the ability to make parts. Like maybe one is going to be your intro. One's going to be your chorus. So I'm kind of doing a workaround for that right now, mentally, by using segments as the Serato Sampler like thing. And then here's what I created for the intro. So that's going to be the intro. And then I didn't mean to open
Check the
this.
caller ID.
Sorry about that. Hopefully that won't give me any copy strikes or whatever. Copyright strikes. All right. By the way, check out Lifted Noise, Raul. That was his channel. I was just trying to close the notification, but unfortunately I opened it. Okay, back to the video. So this is something I was thinking about. Could be a workaround. Now, I will say 4Pockets mono, or not mono, neon has a slicer in it too that lets you use the slice points, and you could do it. I haven't found that one very useful for me personally. I would mostly what I dig about that app is that you can drag out into a device. I don't know how he did it when he made that app, but I wish Koala had that, and many other apps had that in it to be able to just make it so simple. To if I create something in here and I want to go to BeatMaker 3 and drop it in BeatMaker 3, then I just do that, and then I can sequence my track in BeatMaker 3 or Logic or any of those, right? But just let me build the part, grab it, drag it out. Right now, I currently can only delete. So those are all wishful things. Of course, I wish Serato Sampler would just come over to iOS so that we could have access to that. That would be amazing for chopping samples. Koala's great for chopping samples, and I think in time, if the dev so chooses, it will be even better down the road if we could just take these 35 chops and leave them on one pad. I'm just using this example. It could be 23, 24, whatever. But so close, but it still isn't there, and this is probably why I end up chopping in Serato sample on the computer and then just playing parts back, kind of like what I'm doing here, just because I don't want to fight the battle of having to do 60 pads to do one segment or find out. And this is another thing with that Serato does this too, kind of annoys me a little bit. Like, I don't want 9 samples, I want an 8, just like I had. But if you accidentally hit a key, it will add another pad. So it is what it is. Now, here's something I do like in segments. I can click effects and tell it to do this for all of them. Watch this. Hold on. Well, the gain's not working. Hold on a second. This is what I'm trying to do, is get the gain to work. And it froze. Jeez. Is it gone? Either froze. Oh. Hold on, let me stop clicking for a second here. See if it'll come back. I don't know if it's gonna come back. Let's try the delay. See, there's my 9 chops again that I don't want. Turn the effects off. Put it back at 8. And I don't know what it's changing or doing when it does that, so that's what's confusing. Okay, so let's try. All right, there we go. I had to double click. If you double click on it, apparently it turns it off. Did it again. Oh my Lord. Guess it just wants me to use the pads so I don't make. I do like the effects in here though. I think they're really nice. There's a keyboard too if you want to use that. Effects are really nice. Pads, here we go. So, yeah, this is the, I don't want to call it a poor man's version. That's kind of bad. What should I say? For lack of better words, this is the workaround Serato Sampler vibe in iOS, I guess. Beatmaker 3, I know in one bank, I think you can get 64 pads, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess in that essence, you really don't need to keep the chops all on one segment or one little screen. But I'm not really a Beatmaker 3 fan anymore. I do like some of the things in it. I'm just not going to use it. Just not really interested in using it personally. But anywho, you can do it and come up with a nice little sample like that, and then keep building your sample parts by sampling whatever else you want. Put some drums, right? And then start putting together like a little workflow. So we're going to go 92. Sometimes I'll just use this to figure out that it's 4 bars, right? So if it's 4 bars, then I can come in here and double up, click here, and then just drag it out. I'm trying to use the mouse so you can see it. Now you have your intro part. And because I'm using AUM, I have to... Okay, so then you could go and say, all right, that's the intro. Then I'm going to do another 4 bars, but this is going to be for the drums. But then I'm going to put some parts in there too. So I got to figure out what I want to play. Now, the problem is this works on an intro, but when you need to record with a sample, you're going to have to go ahead and put the drums down first, right? So that would require... Well, that ain't gonna work. It requires you to go in and at least put something down. This is probably much easier just to do with my finger. Or not. So when you work in slide over, you gotta be, it's about the size of a cell phone. So if you've never worked on the cell phone, that's probably not gonna be the view you like. You probably want to use it as an AUV3 in there. But one of the things you lose when you go AUV3 is the split stem. So if you're going to ever use that feature in the actual Koala instance that you're running, and you want to do it sampling via using AUV3, then you might want to try it this way. Otherwise, yeah, it could get pretty challenging. So I'm just adding in some basic stuff for the beat. I prefer to play this in, but this will work for starters purpose. And then let me go in and put the note repeat on. I usually turn on velocity. This one and Beatmaker 3 have the best to me. All right, so make sure you arm the track. And then if you really want to get a count in, which I do, then you need to set it up in AUM. There you go. Simple beat. Now you could go back in, maybe get out of this, go back in here, press record. Now it's going to probably pick up my voice. Oh, it did not. Okay, cool. Then you can start playing with your parts. So I messed up a bunch of times, partly because I keep doing this stupid thing with the where I move the I hit a button that is not even a part of it. Is that a part of it? No. See, so let me try it again. Here we go. Oh, I gotta turn the metronome on. Did it again. Oh my gosh, sorry. So, yeah. You got to know where your last sample is. That's the issue, is because I'm just hitting this thing like randomly. Now I like that, but I forgot to hit the last note. So I'm going to stop it there. That's fine. This is just a tutorial showing you. So let's see. Crop it. So the last piece is probably, and mind you, I'm guessing, so I don't know where it's going to stop. But we're going to set it to around 4 bars. I'm going to set it about right. Let's just set it at the corner of that. And if it's off a little bit, I'll be fine. So, it's 8 bars. Okay, whatever. So, double up the beat. Go in. And then I'm going to use, I think I saved it on this track here. Yeah, because the first one is the intro. All right. So then you have this. I'm going to turn the metronome off. I'm going to turn off the pre-roll just for right now. It's off a little bit right there. So this is a bit off. One way you could correct it, I guess, is by setting that there and then setting this one here maybe. And then doing 2 parts. So, okay. And so instead of doing just this long bar of 4, you make it 2 bars like that. Because if you stretch the sample, it might work, but sometimes you'll get some weird sounds in the sample. So if you can get your timing on, and this is what drives me crazy. I can't, with this start information here, I cannot see the sample on that side. And it's definitely not 8. We're going to do 4 bars. So I'm going to assume this is set to 8, and I'm going to do 4 bars. Okay. Now try it out again. And this thing is stuck. Okay, there you go. I don't like it, particularly that second part. So I'm gonna get rid of it and just move this up. First part I think is kind of cool. And then you could always add in another part and be like, let's see, what was I doing? or something like that. So now you just play it, right? Catch the timing. There you go. Just a little, it's like an accent. So I'm going to start it right there. Crop it. I'm going to see if I place it where I want it, if that'll work. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. Just depends on what you're doing. I think that's about where I want it. It might work, it might not. Nope. It'll start right there. Start over. See, that's not it. All right, so that didn't work. But you see what I mean. You get the point. If you play it in right, you can... Oh, there I go. Doing it again. So anyway, this is the closest we got right now. beatmaker 3 is probably the better choice if you can dig the workflow. It's not for me. That doesn't mean it isn't for you. But just so you know. Yep. So I think that's it for this video. I kind of just wanted to show you this idea using segments and Koala, because I feel like they both have a strength and bring something to the table. You could, in theory, do this with Koala by just chopping the samples up that you want. And I think if you only have 8 to 16 samples in a chop, you might be perfectly fine and not need to use something like a segment. However, I kind of like having the chops in one location and then being able to play them onto some type of grid. So you could use segments technically, or even Koala, in another app like a beatmaker 3 and then play your parts out that way. But it really comes down to you and your workflow and the way you like it. You don't have to do it this way at all. It's just an idea that I was thinking about for myself. So I just wanted to share the idea. All right. This is it. I'm out.